Xfinity Center in College Park, Maryland. A spot in the Sweet 16 is on the line. It's the 4-seeded Maryland Terrapins and the 5-seeded Alabama Crimson Tide. The top seed, South Carolina, awaiting the winner of this one in Birmingham, which would be a homecoming for Alabama. Standing in the Crimson Tide's way, Brenda Freeze and Maryland. And let's go inside the Terps locker room just moments ago.
Comes down to which team wants it more, and I know, because I've spent enough time, our staff knows that you deserve to be that team. And the only way you do is if you go get it. Go get what is yours and play Maryland basketball.
Well, that'll fire you out. Alongside Helen Williams, Jay Alter with you. Not like you need much more motivation than a spot in the Sweet 16. And when you take a look at this matchup, Helen, so much star power about to take the court. Who has to set the tone in this matchup?
Well, this is all about getting to the next level. On Saturday, it's about surviving and advancing, but you're going to take it to the next level. And both these teams have their own dynamic duo. We start with Maryland, with Sarah Tibiasu. She is small in stature, but she came up big for them, hitting 6 or 8 from three-point range to break the game wide open. And then Kayleen Smichael, she only had 3 points at halftime, but she put on her hard hat, and she went to work, and she finished with 19 points for the game, Jay.
Well, fittingly, they wear number 1 and number 2 on their jerseys, and it's quite a 1-2 punch for Maryland. For Alabama, all eyes were on the first-team All-SEC player, Sarah Ashley Barker. She got a lot of attention, and then Zay Green and Aaliyah Nye stepped up.
Yeah, Aaliyah Nye at crucial times came up with timely responses from the three-point line to every single run by Norfolk State on Saturday. And Zay Green, she just carried Alabama in the first half. She ran the offense. She scored on all 3 levels from whenever they needed her to.
And Nye combined for 45 points in that win against a gutsy Green Bay team. Alabama in the road crimson. Maryland in the home white. Alabama looking for their first trip to the Sweet 16 in 27 years for Maryland. They are used to getting to the second weekend, particularly under Brenda Freeze, trying to get to the 12th Sweet 16 under Freeze. We are underway, and it's Maryland that starts with the basketball. Smichael in attack mode. Follows her own miss. Sellers lines up the 3 and buries it. Cheyenne Sellers. And that's the start that Maryland was looking for. They started slow against the 13th seed. Norfolk State on Saturday. A good start there.
Yeah, Coach Freeze thought they were a little bit nervous as you see the nice cut and layup there by Weatherly. They just wanted her, they wanted them to just settle down, take care of the basketball, and you see they did that on their first possession here today.
Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. You know, both teams have been keeping a short bench. Expect to see these 5 starters for the majority of the game, even with a tight, quick turnaround. Alabama had Aaliyah Nye play a full 40 minutes in that win against Saturday against Green Bay.
And Alabama knows that Carly Weathers is a tall 6-foot player, so they're trying to post her up a little bit at the beginning of the offense.
Here's Zay Green. Off to Nye. Dangerous 3-point shooter. Takes it in, dumps it off. Essence Cody. The sophomore delivers. She could be a problem inside for Maryland.
Well, you want to run Alabama off the 3-point line, but you don't want them to get in that deep.
There's Allie Kubek. This is that one. She was playing with a lot of confidence on Saturday. 16 points for Kubek. Barker right down the lane. Scoop to the hoop for Sarah Ashley Barker.
Yeah, Barker had only 9 points on Saturday, which would be a subpar offensive game for her, but she contributed in other ways, and I expected her to come out strong here today.
Sarah Tibiasu, an immediate answer from 3 to tie it at 6.
She's going to have a lot of attention on her today, and I'm just curious of how she's going to react to that being the focal point sometimes when she gets the ball against taller players. And you see there, she's able to get her shot off.
Alabama has made their first 3 shots, clicking offensively early. Zay Green trying to keep it going. Great take with the left hand. Zay
6'2" with handles like that going to the basket.
Weathers for Alabama gets the matchup against Tibiasu. Sellers a three. That one misses. Offensive rebound. Keeps it with the Terps.
And that was an emphasis for Coach Curry at Alabama. You got to keep them off the offensive boards. Two extra opportunities for Maryland.
And the Terps fail to cash in. Strong start for both teams offensively in the opening 3 minutes. Good defense. Dulcie got a piece of it. Michael a transition three. Misfires. Another offensive rebound. Maryland is dominating the glass early. It's Michael. Crafty take. Kaylee Schmeichel ties it at 8.
Well, just getting off to a great start in this first half. Unlike Saturday, she is aggressive offensively. I think they wanted her to get to the basket early.
Green can't connect for three. Dulcie posting up. Hits it.
So it's going to be a chess match. Who's going to force the other team to make an adjustment first? Who's going to bring their smaller lineup or their bigger lineup?
This is the game we expected. Back and forth between two very talented teams. Alabama and Christy Curry coming out of the SEC. She told us when you play in the SEC, you're used to playing in games like this that are going to be close, competitive, physical. And boy, she would love to take this team back to Alabama, get to Birmingham, back to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1998.
Yeah, this atmosphere for them is no different than having to go up against some of the best teams in the country in the SEC night after night after night. You see Maryland's a little bit more apt to run set plays in half court, whereas you'll see Alabama, they're going to try to score right away.
Hard foul. Sellers went down. It was Green reaching in. And both of these teams very balanced scoring to start. Already 4 of 5 starters have scored for both Alabama and Maryland. And there's Brenda Freeze. What a job she has done as the head coach of Maryland. 21 NCAA tournament appearances in 23 seasons, of course, winning it in 2006.
Both these coaches, great tacticians. Spent a lot of time talking with us. We really appreciate that this week.
Sellers aggressive early. Cheyenne Sellers, she's been hunting her shot. Cashes in for 2.
She does everything, whatever Maryland needs from her, whether it's facilitating, whether it's scoring. She does it all.
Kick to the corner. Good look. It's good. Sarah Ashley Barker buries it for 3.
One of the things Coach Freeze was concerned about today was the individual one-on-one defense. You letting your offensive player get by you and kicking in, you cannot help off their shooters, and that's what happened there. You got to play better individual one-on-one defense.
Barker, first team All-SEC player. She will make you pay. What a start offensively. 12-11, Maryland with a nose in front early.
Yeah, they're just doing a great job. You see Sellers hunting her shots like you said. She can do it, and so can Alabama with the individual shot from the three-point range by Barker.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And the second round is presented by Intuit TurboTax. Now this is Texas. Well, both teams were tested in their first round matchup, but it's all about survive and advance when it comes to March Madness. Let's check out how these two teams are fueling the run. Brought to you by Wendy's. And, you know, those final scores, Helen, don't really indicate how close and competitive those first-round games were. Both Green Bay and Norfolk State battled really through 3 quarters. And then both Alabama and Maryland used that 4th quarter to separate.
Yeah, people tried to make assumptions with the brackets, but we knew it was going to be very close. And both teams didn't start out very well at the beginning, but today both teams are doing really well. That is the 3rd cut and the opportunity to get a layup for Alabama. They've got 8 points in the paint, and those are not post points. Those are from cuts from the guards.
Well, Alabama shooting 71% from the floor, 5 of 7 to start, and yet they trail by 1. Aaliyah Nye ties it up at 12. Both of these teams so balanced. Veteran groups that were both knocked down early in their respective conference tournaments. Alabama lost, which is the second round, upset by Florida, and Maryland was bounced by Michigan early. So that gave them time to reset, refocus, headed into the NCAA tournament. Both have aspirations of getting to that second weekend. Nye misfires.
You see Maryland, the first team to sub with Poffenbarger and with McClain. McClain in there for defense. Poffenbarger, really versatile offensive player, and they need her to have a good game today.
Here's Poffenbarger, familiar with the SEC, spent 2 years at Arkansas before transferring home to Maryland, a native of Middletown, Maryland. And she usually does pretty well against Alabama. Averages a double-double, nearly 15 points per game, 10 rebounds against the Crimson Tide. And Sellers continues her strong start. She's got 7 of the Terps' 14.
Well, she is on a mission here in this first half. Once again, another backdoor cut. So they're trying to run Alabama off the line, but you can't get beat backdoor, and you've got to help weak side.
Well, the scouting report says that Alabama is a dangerous team from 3. Instead, the Crimson Tide have gone inside and been very effective. Here's Weathers, just scored, now forced a turnover.
Well, the plan is to make them take tough twos, but so far they haven't done that.
Tibiasu battling with Zay Green. Green wins it back. Shot clock did not reset.
There's a mismatch right there. They're taking a 3, but when you got Tibiasu on Cody, you got to get Cody the basketball.
Tibiasu at 5'5", Essence Cody at 6'4". 3 minutes left in this first quarter, tied at 14. It's been a terrific back and forth affair in this second round matchup. Weathers around the screen. Lost it. And here's Poffenbarger. Sailor Poffenbarger fouled hard. And she'll get 2 at the line.
And you see here a little bit of carelessness when you get the steal from Poffenbarger, gets the ball in her hands. This is good for her. She'll have an opportunity to see the ball go through the basket and score and build on that here in this first half.
She's a great free throw shooter. 45 of 50 on the season, 90% from the line. Battled through injuries at the end of the season. Given a full bill of health, only played 9 minutes against Norfolk State, but head coach Brenda Free said that has nothing to do with her lingering injury. She's 100% cleared to play. We need her to play 20-25 minutes tonight.
And it has to be a productive 25 minutes. Doesn't have to be a gazillion points, but 10 points from her would be really good for Maryland.
Barker picked up her dribble. Errant pass falls to Collins. Stolen away. Sarah Tibiasu the steal and the score.
Well, Alabama does that dribble drive, and so Tibiasu doing a great job of getting in the passing lane. And Collins looking to run the play, not to score. Good adjustment by Tibiasu.
Sarah Tibiasu has been the catalyst for Maryland the last couple of weeks, playing her best basketball when it matters most in March.
And this is a kid who knows the scouting report. She knows they're going to drive and kick, and she got right in that passing lane for the steal.
Alabama with such a strong offensive start, they've cooled off with a scoring drought of 2.5 minutes now. Essence Cody comes up short.
I thought there was a little contact there, but like you said, it's physical.
Now this is the Big Ten against the SEC. Two teams desperate to keep their season alive and advance to Birmingham in the Sweet 16.
One of the things that Coach Freeze said yesterday was, listen, if the game on Saturday was your last game, can you actually go home and say that you gave your best effort? Because at this point, we don't know what's going to be our last practice and our last game.
Parker trying to shake free. Travel.
Well, that's great defense by Dulcie at 6'2". I mean, to be able to move like that laterally. Just held her ground, didn't jump or anything.
And the crowd has come alive after forcing that turnover. Awesome atmosphere here in College Park. Playback trying to clean up the spill, draws the foul. It'll head to the line for two.
Kubek, I thought, did a great job carrying Maryland in that first half on Saturday. She was the only one really who was able to get any points.
Kubek makes the first. As we remind you, for the 5th straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is right here on the networks of ESPN. Continues with the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 on Friday. For more information, go to NCAA.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Maryland starting to separate. 5-point Terps lead. Alabama at a scoring drought of 3 minutes. They have 3 turnovers during that stretch. Here's Aaliyah Nye, leads the SEC in made threes, passes it off though. A good look inside and a foul call.
Well, that was a great high hedge, but even better pass into the post, hitting the roller. Yeah, the help was late, and thank goodness Dulcie's okay.
It's Christabel Azuma at the line. Transfer from Campbell, originally from Sugar Hill, Georgia.
She is a tremendous rebounder. Had 10 rebounds the other night, 5 offensive, 5 defense, and that's her job, is to get rebounds and give Alabama extra opportunities. And she really buys into that role.
That free throw ends a scoring drought of 3 minutes and 18 seconds for the Crimson Tide. And despite the offensive struggles at the end of this first quarter, only trailing by 4.
Yeah, and they know it, as well as they shoot threes, they're never going to be out of the game. They've just got to figure out how to get open, because Maryland is not going to let them get those passes on the perimeter. So they've got to figure out how to adjust to that in the second quarter.
Here's Tibiasu. Hand off for Sellers. She leads Maryland with 7. Shot clock down to 7. Sellers, pull up pop. Rattles out, no good. Offensive rebound, can't finish it. Battle for the ball awarded to Alabama with 9.8 seconds remaining in this opening quarter.
Well, Mary McLean is such a great rebounder. She struggles to finish, though, near the basket when she gets those offensive rebounds. They need her to make a couple of those bunnies.
Plenty of time here to get something good for the Crimson Tide. 5 seconds left in the quarter.
Cannot go in. Can't go under the screen there with Zay Green.
Off the mark, though. Alabama started this game so strongly. 5 makes in their first 5 minutes, only 1 made field goal in the final 5 minutes of the quarter. They'll have one last look here with 1.3 seconds with the ball underneath their own hoop. Into Nye. Through contact, no call. And the first quarter comes to a close. Maryland in front by 4. The 4-seeded Terps looking to get back to the Sweet 16. Well, in big games, you can lean on your stars, and Maryland doing just that. Play it through Cheyenne Sellers to start this one.
Well, I asked the coach about her, and he gave her the nickname the Conductor because she does whatever her team needs, facilitates her. And today, she's decided that what they need is for her to score and be aggressive on offense, and she leads the team right now with 7 points.
3-time All-Big Ten first-teamer. And her dad, Brad Sellers, was only an All-Big Ten first-teamer once for Ohio State before a great NBA career, most notably for the Bulls, playing with Michael Jordan in the late 80s.
So you're saying she gets it, honestly?
Absolutely. Cheyenne Sellers, banged up at the end of the season. You see she's playing with that knee brace on her right leg. Michael misfires to start the second quarter. Kick out. Sellers. Right on cue. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Cheyenne Sellers.
Oh, and once again, an offensive rebound. That is 7 offensive rebounds for Maryland in this half.
Well, Dad Brad is fired up about that big 3. 10 points for Sellers now. Big time answer, Zay Green. And the Crimson Tide played through Green for long stretches of that first-round win against Green Bay. Maryland can't stop scoring. Count it, plus the foul. Sarah Tibiasu.
Yeah, well, I asked about how she would fare against taller players, and that's where she has the advantage. She could get by them, and the help is really late, and she lets it go just in time. She is a tough player, 5'5", but she plays much larger, has a big heart.
It completes the and one, no surprise. Tibiasu has only missed 1 free throw since November 30th. Automatic from the line at 95%. And Alabama answers with an and one of their own. Yes, it's Cody, the sophomore.
Well, that was a great way to solve the problem because Maryland's not been letting them, pass the ball around the perimeter. So you set a little screen here, secondary transition, and in essence, Cody doing a great job of rolling, taking the contact and scoring.
Both of these teams, Helen, initiating early offense, and it's working.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Alabama, that's what they do. That's their MO. But if you're Maryland, don't give Alabama a chance to get back and set up in defense because they're very connected. They take a lot of charges.
Already 11 points scored in this second quarter, and we're less than a minute in. Fast-paced, high-scoring affair. Playback trying to keep it going, and she does! Beautiful finish with the left hand.
Well, the report earlier today was don't let her get to the block, and they didn't really go over don't let her get to the block without the dribble.
Barker couldn't connect with Cody.
Same play, different result.
Michael can't cash in. And a foul called against Christina Dulce. Flew in there to foul Barker on the rebound. That's Dulce's second.
Yeah, you definitely don't want her to pick up a third foul. Need her for the second half.
Seven-point lead for Maryland at the start of this second quarter. Cody goes right to the rim and draws another foul. In essence, Cody, a bit of an X factor this season for Alabama. They are 12-1 when she scores in double figures along with Barker, Green, and Nye. And just a sophomore. Plays some big minutes for Alabama. Entering the second round, Cody just one of 14 sophomores left in the field, averaging 24 minutes or more. And of those 14, only 3 listed at forward. It's rare that a forward at this level in the SEC would be playing as many minutes as just a sophomore.
Yeah, I think she's done a great job. She was disappointed in herself because she got an early foul trouble on Saturday against Norfolk State and wasn't able to contribute the way she wanted.
A Frustration foul there. And that's Zay Green's second personal foul. So the foul starting to pile up here early in the second quarter.
And that was the key for Alabama, was not to get into foul trouble, because as you said, they do not have a deep bench.
Playback into a double team. Allie Playback off the window and in for two.
And just so nimble around the basket. They're pushing her away from the block like they were supposed to, but no one's picking her up off the dribble.
Stolen away. Kayleen Smichael. The steal and the score. Timeout, Alabama. All the momentum with Maryland right now.
Well, Coach Free said take advantage of the crowd, and definitely Kayleen Smichael is making them very happy.
Here's the bracket for the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. We're here in Regional 2, Birmingham. Number 1, South Carolina. Number 2, Duke. Already advancing to Friday's Sweet 16 matchup. The defending champ Gamecocks awaiting the winner of this one between Alabama and Maryland. The 5-seeded Crimson Tide trailing by 10. Well, yesterday it was a very good day to be a 5-seed. We had 3 matchups that featured 5 versus 4. Ole Miss, K-State, Tennessee, all won as 5 seeds. All road teams too. If Alabama comes back and wins this one, it would be the first time in the history of the tournament that all 5 seeds swept the 4s.
Well, Alabama would like nothing more than to get Sarah Ashley Barker and her teammates back to Birmingham, but Maryland has other ideas.
Yeah, Barker, the Birmingham native who won 2 state championships on the very court that the Sweet 16 will be played. And unfortunately, Barker traveled there. With the Crimson Tide just not in an offensive rhythm right now.
No, I think that Maryland's done a great job of not letting them go where they want to go. Especially at the beginning, they weren't letting them pass the ball around the perimeter, and then they tightened up their one-on-one individual defense.
7 turnovers, costly in this first half for Alabama, and Maryland has cashed in on them. 19 of the Terps' 31 points have come from points off turnovers and second chance points combined. And the Terps have made 5 of their last 6 shots. Denied that time. Ripped away by Essence Cody. Barker drives baseline.
Great job with the help. Great job with the recovery by Maryland.
Collins left alone. Missed it. Offensive rebound stays with Bama.
That's only the 5th three-point shot attempt that they've allowed Alabama.
They've had a lot of success going inside, though. Essence Cody delivers again.
Yeah, she's huge for them when they're not hitting shots outside. And she does a great job with her footwork for getting her defender on the top side.
Sellers, great pass, just couldn't connect. She had Smichael right there. Going right back to Cody, why not? That time couldn't deliver.
She's not happy about that, but they're letting them play a little bit. She's got to play through that.
Smichael draws the foul.
And that might have been a little bit out of frustration for what wasn't called on her end, but she's got to make sure that she stays in the game. She can't have fouls like that.
That's her second. And she checks out of the game.
So with her coming out, you lose some offense there.
Well, she's been the brightest spark offensively, leads the Crimson Tide with 8. Kayleen Smichael transfers over from Rutgers after spending 2 years in New Jersey. All Big Ten first-teamer this season. Makes them both.
Alabama's got to find a way to get some open three-point shots. That's where their offense is going to come from now with this group on the floor.
Barker trying to get going. First-team All-SEC player.
There's the benefit of Poffenbarger with her height on defense.
Shot clock down to 7. Handoff. Barker fires a three. Can't hit it. Offensive rebound stays with Alabama. And Azuma, the hustle play, leads to a foul. That's Maryland's fourth. So the next foul the Terps commit, Alabama will be in the bonus the rest of the quarter.
I'm still really surprised that Alabama hasn't taken advantage of the height disadvantage between Weathers or whoever Tibiatu is guarding. They've had her in there 2 or 3 times on the block, and no one's paid any attention to that.
Alabama started shooting 5 of 7 from the floor since just 4 of 12. So they've gone cold here in the second quarter. Barker is scoreless. Trying to change that here in attack mode. Off the window for 2.
I think she heard you, Jay.
Right on cue. Exactly what Alabama needed. Stolen away. Collins read the passing lane beautifully. Right back to Barker. Back-to-back baskets for Sarah Ashley Barker. And Brenda Freeze says, give me a timeout.
Well, one of the things that Alabama wanted was to put pressure on the defense of Maryland in transition. And here you see Barker finally being aggressive, hitting the shot, and making a contribution, and again, putting pressure on that defensive transition.
Well, Maryland head coach Brenda Freeze is a gifted speech giver, and we've been lucky this weekend here in College Park. She has handed out some beauties this March Madness. This was at halftime when they were trailing by 2 in the first round against Norfolk State. Take a listen.
After this, you don't get another 20 minutes unless you go earn it. And you haven't earned it. You haven't even come close to earning it. If you want to earn it, you got to go out and do the things that you're capable of doing, that you've shown all season long, right? But it's not going to come to you just by thinking you have Maryland on your chest. You got to go earn it for the next 20 minutes. The next 20 minutes, you got to be the hungrier team, the more relentless team, the more disciplined team to be able to go out and earn yourself this win. Let's go. Let's go!
And they did just that. 52 second half points after that speech. She's got me ready to run through a wall, Helen.
I asked her, I was like, do you have some sort of formula that you go through whenever you're trying to figure out? Because you got to have so many speeches at halftime and at the beginning of games, end of games, and she's like, no, it just sometimes comes to me. That last one came to me when I was driving. So she has an ability, though. I mean, she's seen it all. She's won a national championship. You know, she's won in the Big Ten, she's won in the ACC, so she's pretty much seen it all.
11 Sweet 16 appearances today. If they get the win, would make 12. 3 trips to the Final Four, a national championship in 2006. And, you know, it's interesting, talking with Brenda Freeze, she reflected on being a young coach in the MAC at Ball State well before the 2006 national championship. And she said that the coach she admired most when she was a head coach in the Midwest at Ball State was Christy Curry, who was right down the road as the head coach at Purdue, took the Boilermakers to the national title game in 2001, and now Curry, obviously the head coach of Alabama. And what used to be just a dream, an aspiration, is now reality as Curry and Freeze going at it in the second round with a trip to the Sweet 16 on the line. Turnover out of the timeout. Up ahead, Collins makes it a 4-point game. Alabama on a huge run right now.
Well, live turnovers turning into points. So 29 out of the 29 points, you have 22 that have come in the paint, and really only 6 of those have come from post players.
Crimson Tide on a 6-0 run in just 33 seconds to turn a 10-point deficit into just 4. And a travel called against Tibiatu. The turnovers starting to pile up for Maryland.
Yeah, their timing on offense is off. Their spacing is a little bit off, and Alabama has something to do with that. They're not letting them go where they want to go, but they've got to adjust.
Maryland with 5 turnovers in their last 6 possessions after a very clean first quarter. And the tide has turned in favor of Alabama. Feels like the Crimson Tide have momentum for really the first time in this matchup.
Well, the objective was obviously not to let them shoot threes and trade threes for twos, but you cannot let them get that deep in the paint, obviously off drives and then from those live turnovers. You're creating the offense for Alabama.
Turnovers in the last minute 42 has allowed Alabama to get back into this game.
I think Maryland has to find a way to isolate either Sellers or Schmeichel. Make them get to the basket.
8-0 run in the last minute for Alabama. 2-point game. Sellers, the floater, doesn't drop. Up ahead, Barker ties it at 33. It's a 10-0 run for the Crimson Tide.
And that's just running hard. Schmeichel didn't run hard. Barker ran hard, and she got rewarded for that.
What a response by Alabama. Trailing by 10 in this second quarter, and they have erased the Maryland lead. Now they can go in front here.
Maryland just not executing, just a lot of comfort dribbles.
Offensive foul. Sarah Ashley Parker can't believe it.
Maryland's got to dribble with a purpose. Out of whatever play coach is trying to run, they've got to dribble with a purpose. And you see Barker here. And Schmeichel's there. Maryland's got to dribble with a purpose. Whatever you do here, you've got to go north-south to the basket. You can't go east-west. You've got to take care of the basketball.
We are tied for the 5th time today. Tibiasu, that rolls around the rim, doesn't fall. It's going to stay Maryland basketball, though, underneath their own hoop. Terps in the bonus, shooting 2 now. Both teams in the bonus for the final 3 minutes of this second quarter. And if this turns into a free throw competition, that favors Maryland. They are 2nd in the nation in free throw shooting.
Well, they got to the line 25 times on Saturday, and with the way they crashed the boards offensively, you've really got to keep them off the board so they don't get on the line.
(23 of 25 in the first round against Norfolk State. They use the free throw line as a weapon. 2-point lead for the Terps to halt a 10-0 Alabama run. Back and forth we go in College Park. Parker finds Azuma, working against Kubek. Barker a 3. It's good. Sarah Ashley Barker fires Alabama back in front.
Alabama does such a great job cutting to get their teammate open. It's not that cutter that's going to get the ball. When the defense goes with the cutter, their teammate is wide open.
Battle for the ball. That's how much these two teams want it. Ball's on the floor. 5 bodies battling for it.
When you cut hard, you're going to take 2 defenders with you, and you're going to have an opportunity to get a 3-point shot. You see 2 defenders right there, and Barker just sliding down for that 3-point shot.
Sarah Ashley Barker already has 14, 5 more than she had in the first round, showing why she was voted first team All-SEC.
I talked to Anna, their SID, and I was like, I think she's mad today. She only had 9 points the other night. I know she's going to be aggressive. That's an unfortunate turnover there for Alabama.
Gives the ball back to Maryland. The Terps once up 10 in this second quarter, now trailing by 1.
Last time down, Alabama switched everything, so we'll still see if they stay with that. Yep, they're switching.
Schmeichel fires a 3 and drills it. Kayleen Schmeichel puts out Maryland back up by 2.
She has the ability to score in bunches. that goes through, so we'll see what happens last 1:45 of the half.
A foul called. Sellers and Aaliyah Nye tangled up, and they ruled a foul against Sellers. That's her second. Brenda Fries can't believe it. Sellers arguing her case.
I think she has a case to argue.
It seemed like Nye initiated that contact.
It sure did.
And it puts Aaliyah Nye on the line to tie this game at 38. How much fun is his first half been?
Oh, we knew it would be close. We knew both these teams, they want to get to Birmingham.
South Carolina awaits in Regional 2 Birmingham. A trip to the Sweet 16 on the line. Would be Alabama's first in 27 years. Fittingly, would be in their home state, less than an hour away from Tuscaloosa. Maryland standing in their way, 4-seeded Terps.
But the problem is Maryland can't figure out if they're in the zone or player to player, and that's giving them some pause anytime they catch the basketball because the defense is spreading them out so wide.
Ali Kubek has been incredible on the glass. That is her 4th offensive rebound, 9 total rebounds in this first half. Coming up at halftime, Degree in the studio. Texas taking care of business. The Wolfpack making it rain in Raleigh. Plenty to catch up on as the second round comes to a close on a busy Monday. We will be down to 16 by midnight tonight.
And this is the best time of the year, isn't it? Basketball all day, every day, men, women, morning, noon, and night. There you go, finally looking at least at that mismatch.
But they floated it way over Carly Weathers' head. Didn't have a chance at it. Now you mentioned the March Madness, all the basketball this weekend. Quick turnaround for Maryland fans and their heart rates after a buzzer beater sent the men to the Sweet 16 last night. The Maryland women trying to join them in the Sweet 16. Schmeichel a 3, no good. Barker draws the foul again. Sarah Ashley Barker been very efficient in this first half. 6 of 8 from the floor. 14 points to lead Alabama.
Bringing Poffenbarger back in here, an offensive substitution at the end of the half to possibly get some points. And then Christy Curry doing the smart thing, getting her players out so they don't get any bad fouls.
Well, Sarah Ashley has certainly stepped outside of her father's shadow. Jay Barker, a legend for Alabama sports fans, the quarterback of the 1992 national championship team, but Sarah Ashley has certainly cemented her own legacy. And it would even dial up one more notch if she can deliver Alabama their first trip to the Sweet 16 in 27 years.
And she is a strong-willed player. She's going to do whatever her team needs. She's tough, she's physical, and that's not great that there's another foul on Schmeichel going into the half.
They picked up 2 in the final minute. It sends Barker right back to the foul line.
Maryland has some key players with 2 fouls. You've got Dulcie, you've got Sellers, and now you have Schmeichel with 2 fouls.
So Barker gets another 2. That one gives Alabama the lead.
She is a great leader. She works hard by example. When she says something, her teammates listen, and it's because she would never ask them to do anything that she does not do herself.
And she's already up to her season average of 17 points. And she's given Alabama a 2-point lead. 15 seconds remaining in this first half. Maryland led by as many as 10. Now the Terps trailing by 2. DiBiase, the floater, doesn't fall. Time here for Alabama. 4 seconds left. Parker, the hot hand. Falls off the rim, no good. But Alabama still takes a 2-point lead into halftime. Yeah, the Crimson Tide 24-2 on the year when they lead at the half. Well, a good one here at College Park. Alabama, a 2-point lead at the break. Let's get you into the halftime degree in the studio. Chip presented by Capital One. You're watching the second round presented by Intuit TurboTax. Well, a spot in the Sweet 16 on the line. Alabama a nose in front, leading by 2 in what was a very fun first half here in College Park. Hi, everybody. Alongside Helen Williams, I'm Jay Alter. What a back and forth first half that was, Helen. And really, it was the stars that showed up. And that's exactly what you need in March.
Yeah, you had Barker showing up. She's a little bit upset and mad. She only had 9 points in that first game, but got a lot of layups. Just working really hard, getting to the basket. Alabama has the opportunity to get a lot of paint points. They had 24 points in the paint, and they came mostly off drives. But you see there, they finally got an opportunity to shoot some threes. Maryland did a good job of keeping them from shooting threes, but let them get to the basket. And then Sellers just decided early that she was going to be aggressive offensively, so she hit some key shots. Maryland got a little bit stagnant in their offense, and so they've got to get more movement, whether it's screens on the ball, cuts, because Alabama was switching, and so they stood there and held the ball, and it looked like a zone, but they've got to get more movement.
Let's check out today's game track, brought to you by Invesco QQQ. Sellers with 10, Sarah Ashley Barker with 17, and it's Alabama with a 2-point lead. Maryland with the ball to start this second half. The Terps in an identical position to the first round, trailing by 2 at the half. They went on to win by 13. Kayleen Schmeichel opens the scoring in this second half. It ties it at 41.
A good sign from Maryland. Same thing as the last game against Norfolk State. She started strong in that second half, ended up with 16 points in the half. Well, let's see if she's able to continue and duplicate that today.
Alabama shot the lights out in that first half. 56% from the floor. They got quality looks like that.
One-on-one individual defense.
Zay Green cashes in on another layup. When you shoot such a high percentage, that's because you're getting good looks. Playback can't answer. That rolls off the rim, no good. Dulcie, offensive rebound, can't finish it.
Well, that's what they were missing when she was on the bench with those 2 fouls, was getting extra opportunities from offensive rebounds. Got to finish those, though.
Everything working through Barker right now. 3 in crimson. Why not? She had the hot hand. Cody steps out for 3. Can't knock it down. Long rebound. Nye fires it home. Aaliyah Nye drills it.
You got to get your head around and find the ball in those long rebounds from 3-point shots.
Nye, who leads the SEC in 3-point makes with 110. Can't leave her open. Cody rips it away. Alabama's come out with a look in their eye in this second half. Trying to get back to Birmingham. And they're well on their way. Sarah Ashley Barker. It's the largest lead of the game for the Crimson Tide.
Well, Alabama doing a great job of putting pressure on the defense, whether it's in transition. You see the 3-point shot there by Cody, and then the long offensive rebound and the stick back by Nye. And then Barker decides that I'm going to go to the basket.
The NCAA Women's Championship, presented by Capital One, is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. For the last time these two teams met, this identical round 4 years ago. Second round action, and it was all Terps. Maryland led by some future WNBA stars. Diamond Miller, scored 13 points in the 100-64 win, and Angel Reese, before going to LSU, had 19 points for the Terps. This one going to be a lot closer than 100-64. In fact, Alabama on a 7-0 run, largest lead of the game for the Crimson Tide.
Oh, just a great job by Christine Curry coming out in the zone there after the timeout.
This game is turned upside down. In the second quarter, Maryland led by 10. And now it's Alabama in front by 7.
Well, they made it easy for Alabama. They turned the ball over. Alabama was just scoring in transition. I think their half-court defense, they need to play harder.
Good look. Kubek can't finish it, and it's blocked. It falls to Schmeichel, though. Ball's loose again. Alabama suffocating defense right now, causing Maryland trouble. Offenbarger been quiet, misfires.
They really need her to score, because when you're not scoring, you're giving opportunities for Alabama to transition to offense.
And that's a turnover. Tried to float it in to Sarah Ashley Barker, who's got 19 points to lead all scorers today.
Cody's used to passing to taller people.
Yeah, since Cody at 6'4", Barker 4 inches shorter. Can they get Cheyenne Sellers going? Has it here. And 10 points in the first half. Her first bucket of the second half, trying to get the Terps going.
Oh, cute, Jay. Nice job.
A 3-time All-Big Ten first-teamer for a reason. Green trying to shake free, right to the rim. Can't clean up the spill either, and Poffenbarger rips down the rebound. 2-on-2, Kayleen Schmeichel, right to the rim, got it!
Easy offense from good defense.
One possession game with a spot in the Sweet 16 on the line.
And this crowd is getting into it.
Green quiets the crowd. Count it, plus the foul for Zay Green.
She is so versatile. I mean, this kid is 6'2" and has great handles and can score at every single level. And she's strong. She can take the contact and she can score.
Well, what a journey it's been for Zay Green. This is her 7th season of college basketball. A McDonald's All-American coming out of Duncanville, Texas. Started playing for the Tennessee Volunteers in 2018. Now finishing her college career at Alabama. Can't complete the and one. Kubek holding her head, slow up the court.
You see how the ball sticks. They're trying to beat Alabama one-on-one without changing sides of the floor.
Foul on the floor. So that's Zay Green's 3rd foul. Here's Sarah Tibiasu, been quiet for her standards. Only 8 points today. Kick to the corner. Kubek a 3. Can't connect. Tibiasu corrals the long rebound. Steps into it. She can't connect either. 2 good looks for Maryland. Weathers cashes in on a transition triple.
That's what you want to avoid. That's what Alabama wants to do. They run right to their 3-point spots in transition.
Sellers through contact, no call. And Alabama been brilliant in transition. That 3 rims out. And a foul on the rebound. All the momentum with the Crimson Tide right now.
Yeah, when you get a rebound, Alabama, they're going to run to the three-point line. They're not going to run for layups. And if you let them penetrate that deep, somebody's got to help, and somebody's going to be wide open.
Helen, you've said it all weekend we've been together. Alabama so dangerous in transition, particularly from three, and you saw exactly why on that possession.
Well, they just do a great job of running to the spots. They stay wide, they allow the ball handler to get as deep as she can, and they're always ready to shoot.
Barker missed them both. Sellers. That rims out no good. Tibiasu at 5'5", got the rebound, couldn't finish it. Cody left open. She'll make you pay. Yes, it's Cody. And she's got Alabama up 11.
Well, when your 6'4" center can shoot threes, you got a problem on defense. They played that the right way, but the kid can shoot.
Alabama dominating this third quarter, up 15-6. Poffenbarger, that goes begging. Maryland has fallen ice cold. They have missed their last 6 shots, just 2 of their last 13.
And Alabama getting whatever shots they want. They might not make them all, but they're getting quality shots.
Alabama starting to separate. Another three. It's good! Nothing but the bottom of the net. Sarah Ashley Barker. It's an 18-4 Alabama run. Brenda Freeze needs a timeout.
A one-on-one individual defense. You let somebody penetrate that far, they're going to kick it out, and Barker is going to make it.
Alabama up 14, an 11-0 run, and the threes are starting to fall.
Well, you got Nye for a three-pointer, and then you have Weathers off the penetration for a three-pointer, and then you've got your 6'4" center hitting a three-pointer, and then finally, again, the penetration and Barker hitting the three-pointer. That is who Alabama is, and when you allow them to do that, be in character like that, it's tough for you on defense. 5
has been the lucky number in this tournament. Good to be a 5 seed. If Alabama can keep this lead, it's history. The first time in the history of the NCAA tournament, 5 seeds will have swept 4 seeds. Tennessee, Kansas State, and Ole Miss winning on the road as 5 seeds over 4 seeds yesterday. And Alabama well on their way to keeping that going. Offensive foul called against Maryland out of the timeout. How do the Terps recalibrate here, Helen?
Well, first of all, they've got to read the defense right. They came out in the zone again, and they're trying to set a screen on it, trying to get to the basket. They are not moving the defense from side to side. But having said that, if you would just play defense, you make it easier on yourself, and you get transition baskets. Alabama, 16 fast break points to only 7 for Maryland, so they're not creating easy offense.
And Sellers heads to the bench. That is her 4th foul. So Maryland down 14, playing without their 3-time All-Big Ten first teamer. And Aaliyah Nye knocks down another one. It is all Alabama in this third quarter.
Nye did that on Saturday. She just was kind of out there, and then all of a sudden, whenever they need a timely 3, she's the one that makes those shots.
Schmeichel can't connect. Alabama on a 14-0 run. They are outscoring Maryland 21-6 in this third quarter. Maryland needs a shot in the arm. This second round matchup slipping away from the home team Terps. Right on cue, Kubek delivers that shot in the arm.
She says, Cody, if you can shoot threes, I can shoot threes as well.
Can the Terps find a way to string together some stops at the end of this third quarter? Aaliyah Nye backing down, didn't get a good look, and a foul called against Nye. So Maryland basketball. That's Nye's third foul.
So Brenda Freese bringing in DeBerry now that she knows it's a zone, trying to get some inside points.
The 6'6" senior's first action of the NCAA tournament. Has it here. Michael, triple teamed. Somebody's open. The clean, tough take, missed it. It'll stay Maryland basketball. 4 seconds on the shot clock.
Got to find Schmeichel if you're Alabama.
Number 2 in white on the left block there. Guarded tightly by Leah Nye. Shakes free. Goes up with it. Missed it. Battles and wins it back though. And a foul called. Zay Green. That is her 4th. And she heads right to the Alabama bench.
Yeah, and that's tough because she runs that offense. Yeah, you see, it just came off her leg, and that's unfortunate for them that they have 4 fouls on her. And she's going to have to sit for a minute, so who's going to run the offense? Obviously, Collins is in there, but we'll have to see.
Here, McLean through traffic, gets it to go.
If you're Maryland, you got to pick the ball up earlier. They're just letting Alabama come down and get set up in their offense. No pressure on the ball at all, and that's what happens.
Right to the rim for an easy 2, Diana Collins. Schmeichel lines it up. Missed it. Offensive rebound, keeps it with Maryland. Tibiasu, the floater. It doesn't drop. Another offensive rebound. Maryland 17 offensive rebounds, but only 13 second chance points. Another offensive rebound, and finally Kayleen Schmeichel cleans up the spill.
She's playing hard, but she's laboring right now. She is tired. She cannot get to the quarter break fast enough.
50 seconds left to this third quarter. Alabama leading by 12. In control of this second round matchup. Foul called.
This is smart to get Cody out so she doesn't get another foul.
Barker has been the catalyst. 22 points tonight. In attack mode. That rolls off the rim, no good. Offensive rebound. Tibiasu and Collins battling for it. And it's Maryland basketball with 18.8 remaining in this third quarter.
Ooh.
It looked like Tibiasu touched it
why
last.
Coach Curry wanted a review.
So it could just be a gift for Maryland at the end of the third quarter, trying to claw back, trailing by 12. 10 seconds left in it.
Tibiasu largely has been kept in check.
Hits it! Sarah Tibiasu! And a travel called on Barker before the third quarter clock sounds. They're going to put time on back on this clock.
Tibiasu has the ability to get the crowd in the game. She makes these kinds of shots. Hit a big shot to beat Ohio State during the year, and this is just a normal shot for her. Yeah,
there's certainly time on this clock.
For time and error.
So the officials are over at the monitor to get the timing correct. Could this be the momentum Maryland has been desperately chasing in this third quarter? You get a big three with Tibiasu, and now you could potentially get the ball back with a second and a half.
Yeah, Flintstone feet there. I'm dating myself, but yeah, Flintstone feet. So it's going to be interesting to see how Alabama's offense does in the fourth quarter without Green running the point guard. We'll see how long they keep her out, but when she's in there, they run it really smooth. It'll be interesting to see how they do with Collins at the point.
Alabama led by 17 in this game. Maryland has already cut the Crimson Tide lead to 9, and before this third quarter comes to a close, they're going to get another look here.
The clock will be adjusted to 1.1 on the game clock.
Nice little step back, side step to create some space there. She likes that left side of the floor.
So 1.1 seconds put on the third quarter clock here. I'd go right back to Tibiasu. Why not?
Yeah, you could. I mean, depends on, let me see who they have in there. I wouldn't be surprised if they threw it to McClain and just let her try to tip it in.
The inbounder is Sailor Poffenbarger. A floater to McClain. You were right, coach. But the Baltimore native missed it. Got a good look. Maryland ends the third quarter on a 10-2 run, but Alabama very much in the driver's seat. And the Crimson Tide 24-0 when leading after 3 quarters. They've got a 9-point cushion in College Park. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? A Christy Curry and Alabama 10 minutes away from advancing to their first Sweet 16 in 27 years, and awaiting them, #1 South Carolina, the defending national champ Gamecocks, safely in Regional 2 Birmingham's Sweet 16. And let's check out how South Carolina is moving on. Brought to you by United Airlines. Indiana led at halftime, gave the Gamecocks a great test, but the defending champs punched back. So South Carolina awaiting the winner of this one in Birmingham. And you know, Alabama fans, they have waited a long time to get back to the Sweet 16. They start with the ball and a 9-point lead. It would be well worth the wait to get to Birmingham, less than an hour away from Tuscaloosa. Essence Cody, count it, plus the foul. What a start to this fourth quarter.
A nice job there to isolate Cody on the screen and roll there, and Barker doing a great job essentially playing point guard for Alabama.
Yeah, this team has talked about it. Not only do you want to keep your season alive, but the extra added motivation of bringing it home to Alabama in Birmingham. And for Sarah Ashley Barker, a Birmingham native who won 2 state championships on that very court, extra special. It's within reach, but Maryland not going away. The Terps trailing by 12, so they're down, but certainly not out of this.
Well, and your gift for whoever gets there is you get to play South Carolina.
You got to play nearly perfect to beat them. Indiana did it for a half.
Yeah, they have such a great bench. It's really hard to sustain runs against them because they can essentially put in a whole new starting 5 off their bench.
Allie Kubek at the line for 2. Makes the first. Kubek a double-double again for Maryland. 11 points, 11 rebounds for the transfer from Towson.
If I were Maryland, I would isolate her at the elbow and let her go against Cody and get Cody in foul trouble.
Cody's got 3. Barker thought about the 3, did not pull the trigger. Finds Cody, blocked. 6'6", Amari DeBerry got a piece of it. Tibiasu, nice crossover. Pull up pop, sticks it. Sarah Tibiasu breathing life into Maryland at the start of this fourth quarter.
Well, great job reading the miscommunication by Alabama, getting in there for that little short jumper. And Chrissy Curry's going to bring Zay Green back in. She's seen enough.
Green at the table with 4 fouls. Alabama leading by 9. Sarah Ashley Barker going to work. Height advantage against Tibiasu.
Oh man, great defense. Just a better shot. Nothing she could do there.
Sarah Ashley Barker through Tibiasu through the spin cycle. She's got 24 to lead Alabama. DeBerry sticks it. Big answer from the senior.
I still say you got to pick the ball up and put some pressure on the ball. You're allowing Alabama to just get into their dribble drive. Great hedge there by Playback.
Weathers pulls it out. 8 minutes to play in this 4th quarter, and a foul call on the entry pass, trying to get it to Essence Cody, and they tagged DeBerry with a reach-in.
Well, the crowd is mad, but that was the right call. She tried to get off and get around. She just tried to get over her, over the top. Just leaned a little bit too much. We have the benefit of replay, though. So again,
Sarah Ashley Barker gets free. She's got 26. Alabama up by 11.
Parker is using her height against Tibiasu in different ways.
Kubek a 3. It's good!
That's big.
Maryland back within 8. The offense has been firing in this 4th quarter, but can they get some stops? Zay Green playing with 4 fouls. Rejected! Smichael got all ball! Tibiasu, the blow by. Couldn't finish it. Follows her own miss. Stolen away. Aaliyah Nye. Sends it back. Weathers in trouble. Leaves it out for Cody. The floater falls. Essence Cody.
Maryland got to solve this zone for Alabama.
Cody has 16. Alabama back up by 10.
There you go. Isolate her and make Cody play defense.
And Kubek has been brilliant. 16 points to go along with 11 rebounds.
She carried them that first half against Norfolk State, and she's carrying them now here in the second half.
Deep 3, Weathers. Couldn't connect.
You got to go before Alabama gets set up.
Michael, pull up, pop. Got it! Timeout, Alabama. This is the loudest the Xfinity Center has been tonight. 2-possession game.
And Kubek at the elbow. Nobody's playing her there. She's carried him here in the second half. And then Smichael.
Coverage of the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship continues on CBS, TBS, and True TV. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. Well, the Maryland men came back big time to win it at the buzzer yesterday. The Terps on the women's side trying to do the same. From down 17 to now down 6. Trying to stop Alabama from advancing to the school's first Sweet 16 in 27 years. The Terps have been a fixture in the second weekend under Brenda Freeze. This would be their 12th trip, 4 in the last 5. And they've got all the momentum right now. The crowd's behind them here at College Park. A 17-point lead for Alabama is down to 6. 2-possession game with a little more than 6 minutes remaining.
Maryland's got to go back to the defense that they played the first 2 minutes of the game.
Sarah Ashley Barker's been the catalyst all night for Alabama. Off to Zay Green, playing with 4 fouls. Right to the rim, rolls around, does not drop, and a foul called. Maryland can't believe it.
I think it's just out of bounds.
Out of bounds. It'll stay with Alabama. Fresh 20. Green going against Michael.
She has not been able to guard her at all today, and Zay Green knows it. And she's been taking her off the dribble the whole game. Just able to get to the basket again, take the contact and make the shot that time, and almost made it.
And that's now 4 fouls against Kayleen Smichael. So both Smichael and Green playing with 4 fouls.
And if they're going to continue to guard each other, just keep going at each other, try to get that 5th foul.
Green shakes off the nerves and drills it. Cheyenne Sellers passes out of the double team. Smichael lost the handle. Barker 2-on-1, takes it herself, missed it.
Maryland lucky there because it's too congested. They're trying to get to spaces that aren't there.
Smichael through traffic, out the window and in for 2.
You see how important she is to the offense of Maryland. Had 19 points, 16 in the second half on Saturday. She's doing it again today.
5-minute game with 5-point lead for Alabama. Green, big answer. Zay Green delivers.
She's so smart. She really adapts to whoever's guarding her in terms of what she's going to do on offense, and obviously made the right move there, backing Tibiasu down to the block.
Sellers trying to spin her way free. Good defense. Essence Cody up ahead. 2-on-1. Nye. Missed it. And a foul called against Sarah Ashley Barker. Gives the ball back to Alabama. Or Maryland, rather.
Tibiasu had her boxed out, and she held her down. I must say, they've been competing, but they're all so nice to each other, saying, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to knock you down, and they're still competing, though.
4:25 remaining. 7-point lead for Alabama.
This is key. They've got to move the defense around and stop trying to dribble into congested areas without any movement.
Swing to the corner. Sellers lines up the 3. It's good! Cheyenne Sellers makes it a 4-point game.
So this is a good matchup. They put McClain on Zay Green because she's a good defender. She puts pressure on the basketball.
Green beats her. Missed the finish, though.
Oh, she's lucky there. She didn't get a 5th foul.
Barker in attack mode. Right to the rim for 2. She's got 28 to lead Alabama. What a performance. Trying to get the Crimson Tide to their first Sweet 16 in 27 years. Stays with Maryland. Terps trailing by 6.
Yeah, Sellers with the nice 3-point shot here. Looked like Weather's got a piece of that too, and then again just taking Smichael off the dribble to the glass to help late.
And Maryland not backing down. Cheyenne Sellers again. Back-to-back baskets for the 3-time All-Big Ten first-teamer.
Well, that's huge for them. They were really struggling when she was on the bench.
Cody lost the handle. Here comes the Terps. Back to Sellers. Gives it up. The extra pass. And a foul called. Kayleen Smichael will get 2 at the line.
Defense fueling your offense. And that's 5 fouls on Zay Green.
So Green's night is done. Has fouled out with 2:57 remaining. Letting everybody know it. Kayleen Schmeichel with an opportunity to cut this lead in half and make it a 2-point game.
And Maryland gets back on defense. They've got to have more help on the ball handler, because Alabama's just been able to get into the paint off the dribble whenever they wanted to.
Clutch free throws. 2-point game with just under 3 minutes left to play. The crowd gets to their feet. Roaring Maryland onto this finish. Barker, kick to the corner, stolen away. Tibiasu has it. Weather's all over. Alabama's dialed up the pressure. They force the turnover. 3-on-1. Back to Barker. Gets the layup to go. And Barker has 30. Sellers working against Aaliyah Nye. Backing her down. Draws the foul.
Barker's such a tough defender here. Nye sticks her hand in there, gives her the opportunity. Defense turning into offense for Alabama.
Sellers dispossessed, and the Alabama defense delivers again. Back-to-back possessions where the Crimson Tide dialed up the defensive pressure and forced a turnover.
Yeah, you got to put pressure on Alabama here.
Timeout, Alabama. The Crimson Tide a 4-point lead. They have waited 27 years to get to a Sweet 16. What's another 2 minutes?
Boy, I tell you, and if you are right now on offense, you've got to go to your best player, and the ball needs to be in the hands of Sarah Ashley Barker for Alabama. And I see where they're trying to get the ball to Sellers, but they've got to have a little bit more movement to give her some more room to work. Alabama has 4 fouls, so if you're Maryland, you want to try to, again, get to the free throw line, get this 5th foul. That's, as you said earlier in the broadcast, that is a weapon for them. 25 free throws in the game on Saturday. Only 11 so far today.
Well, this is what it's all about. March Madness with a trip to the Sweet 16 on the line. Alabama with the basketball. 2 minutes left to play and a 4-point lead. Sarah Ashley Barker, everything going through number 3 right now. She's got 30.
That's why.
Misses the layup, though. Her first mistake of the night, and it's a costly one.
You got to put pressure on the defense here.
Tibiasu pulls it out. Maryland has made their last 5 shots, roaring to the finish. Sellers a 3. No good. Offensive rebound, McLean cleans up the spill. It's a 2-point game. Foul called.
Oh, wow, they called that on McLean. It looked like there was a forearm push there by Barker. That's what McLean does so well, offensive rebounding.
Take another look.
Oh, my.
Barker with the push-off.
I see why they're upset. I would be, too. She pushed with her forearm.
Aaliyah Nye, no good. 2-point game, a little more than a minute left. Sellers, pull up, pop, and she can tie it at the foul line. And this is who you want shooting the free throws.
So, yeah, you're putting pressure on the defense. You're going to get this 5th foul on Nye, but also the 15th foul. So You're going to be shooting free throws every time you get fouled.
So Zay Green is already fouled out. Now Aaliyah Nye has fouled out for Alabama. And Cheyenne Sellers can tie the game from the line. Sellers, second all-time in Maryland's storied program in free throw percentage. Only behind Christy Tolliver. That's pretty good company.
Yeah, she's a pretty good player, you think?
Responsible for the banner hanging here at the Xfinity Center, 2006 national champions. There's Brad Sellers, the father of Cheyenne.
He looks so calm, but you know inside he's just churning.
100th made free throw of the season, and that's the biggest of the bunch for Cheyenne Sellers. Tied at 80 with a minute to play. Buckle up, we got a fun finish here at College Park.
Here we go.
Who's going to be the hero?
Ball's got to be in Barker's hands.
First team All-SEC player has it here.
He's got two defenders on him. Somebody's open.
Weaving through the double team. Gets it back. Fires a three. It's good!
Now that's a player. That is a player.
Nothing but the bottom of the net for Barker. She's got 33. Alabama up by 3. 30 seconds left.
You don't necessarily need a three, but you got to go quick. Keep this time going down. You're going to have to take a three.
Tibiasu still dribbling. Smichael blocked by Barker. Smichael gets it back. Shot clock down to 5. Tibiasu hits it. Timeout Alabama. Tied at 83.
Nice block by Barker there, and then Tibiasu just taking advantage of what she's given. That is her shot. She is not afraid to take it.
This is what March is all about. Tied at 83 between Alabama and Maryland. Some big shots down the stretch. Barker a 3 to go in front, and then Sarah Tibiasu the answer. Alabama ball. 12 seconds remaining. What are you looking for here, Helen, if you're the Crimson Tide?
I'm looking to get the ball into Barker's hand and just let her go to the basket. If she has Smichael on her, then you're going to go to the basket, and everybody else is just going to stay out there and be ready to shoot the three. That includes Cody. She can shoot the three as well, so you've got to keep her from driving.
Maryland has roared back, down 17 with 3:28 to play in the third quarter. Clock goes to 12.2. From down 17 to now tied.
If you're Maryland, you got to switch on everything. You got to switch on everything. And you got to be ready with your own individual one-on-one defense when they catch the basketball.
Barker the inbounder, but you know she's getting the ball back with 33 points tonight.
Sorry, smart adjustment to put Tibiasu on the bench because you don't want them to use that height advantage. Well, watch the pick and roll for Sarah Barker.
Into Weathers. Barker shakes free. 8 seconds. Barker, can she be the hero? Kick to the corner. Weathers, 1 second for the win. No good. We are headed to overtime.
We get to play some more basketball, Jay.
This is the final possession. Take another look.
She got a decent look at it. Yeah, she just, got a great look at it. A little bit contested, but now we get to play 5 more minutes. Alabama's playing 5 minutes without Zay Green, though. We'll see how that impacts them.
And Aaliyah Nye, 2 of Alabama's top 3 scorers, have fouled out of this game and are unavailable for overtime. And you have to think, here at home at the Xfinity Center, all the momentums with Maryland from down 17 to force overtime. What a treat this is. In the second round, 2 teams desperate to keep their season alive.
Yeah, you got to level up when you get to this game. It's survive and advance the first round, but the second round, you have to make plays. And Barker's been making play after play after play. And then Tibiansu making plays for Maryland. What an unbelievable shot.
Big shot takers, big shot makers. And if you're a Maryland basketball fan, I hope your heart rate's okay. The men, a buzzer beater yesterday to go to the Sweet 16, and now the women ready to play overtime, trying to join them.
If you are Alabama, you just continue to try to drive to the basket, get that 5th foul on Maryland so you can get to the free throw line. Same thing for Maryland. Alabama's already got 5 fouls, so you're going to be shooting every time.
And if you're looking for West Virginia and North Carolina, they are tipping off over on ESPNU. We will get you to Chapel Hill as soon as we are finished in College Park. Alabama fans have not been to the Sweet 16 since 1998. 27 long years. What's another 5 minutes if they can pull this one out?
Who's going to... Alabama, you've got Collins in there, who is the sub. You've got now on the bench. You also have Azuma in there. So you've got the 2 big kids for Alabama, one for rebounding and one for scoring. How are you going to take advantage of that if you're Maryland? I tell you, a kid from Maryland who's made some plays, and we don't talk about it a lot in terms of stats, is Mir McLean. Got some big rebounds, played some good defense, and now on Barker.
Buckle up, here we go. Alabama starts overtime with the basketball. Barker with 33 in regulation. Misses that one, battling for it back. The Birmingham native who's desperate to get back home. Weathers misfires the 3. South Carolina awaiting the winner of this overtime. Sellers through 2, passes it off. Maryland leads.
A conductor doing whatever her team needs when they need it, that time with the assist. Coach Freeze is loving it.
Down to the block, Azuma. 5 seconds to shoot. Backing down Sellers. Azuma goes up and scores!
A little bit of bully ball there, but that was the right thing to do.
Tied again at 85. What's going to separate these teams down the stretch?
The drives for Alabama.
Schmeichel. Plus the foul. Kaylee Schmeichel.
Schmeichel just doing a great job of just getting to the basket. Again, now they're going to be shooting free throws for the rest of the game.
Cashes in on the and one. Schmeichel leads Maryland with 22.
Can you contain Alabama so that they don't get to the basket and they don't kick out?
There's the kick out. Great drive, Carly Weathers. What an answer.
Weathers, an underrated scorer for Alabama.
The Crimson Tide playing without 2 of their 3 scorers. Zay Green and Aaliyah Nye have fouled out. Maryland clinging to a 1-point lead. Schmeichel lost the handle. Cody has it. Weathers poked it free. Sellers rips it away from Barker. Lost the handle, but a foul called against Collins.
Well, she's normally making plays on offense, but able to do it on defense there. Just sizing up the ball. She lost it. She knew Collins was coming.
At the line for Maryland,
Sellers, 85% free throw shooter on the season, 82.5% in her storied career. 3-time All Big Ten first teamer, second best free throw career percentage, only behind Christy Tolliver, and a chance to make it a 3-point game.
Got the offense if you're Maryland. Now you got to play on the other end. You got to tighten up your defense.
Now Brad watching on as Sellers, nothing but the bottom of the net. Barker with tempo. Alabama trailing by 3 and a foul called. Sarah Ashley Barker will now go to the line to shoot 2.
Let's see where they give her here.
Reach in. So Barker at the line for 2. The Birmingham native who is so desperate to get back to the very court where she won 2 state championships in high school.
That was all Coach Curry got so emotional talking about trying to get her back to Birmingham for her last year.
That's where South Carolina awaits in Regional 2. Christy Curry, her 12th season as head coach of Alabama. They've never been to a Sweet 16 under her tenure. 27 years was the last time they made it to the second weekend. Rims out, no good from Barker. 2-point lead for Maryland, under 2.5 to play in overtime.
Take care of the basketball.
Sellers missed it. And it's Alabama basketball.
That's one of those shots. If she makes it, it's a great shot. If it's not, you probably should have run the offense a little bit more. This is a good matchup with McClain on Barker. She makes her work for whatever she gets.
McClain got a hand to it. Stole it away. Sellers. Plus the foul. Cheyenne Sellers.
I know we're talking about Cheyenne Sellers and everybody else, but Mira McClain has done an unbelievable job in this game on rebounding and on defense. She's been a huge part of why Maryland's able to stay in this game and have the lead now.
And Cheyenne Sellers on a mission. Completes the and one. Under 2 minutes to play in overtime. Alabama desperate for a bucket. Weathers hands it off. Azuma, count it, plus the foul. What an answer. And that's 5 fouls on Kayleen Schmeichel.
Yeah, Alabama's just been able to get in there at will today. And Azuma, not normally known for offense, usually in there for defense, able to finish and get the opportunity for the N1.
Well, Maryland has won 159 straight games where they score 90 or more. Last loss, 1993. Alabama not going away. 2-point game, a minute 46 in this extra session. Maryland has been playing through Cheyenne Sellers. Hands off here for Tibiasu. She hit the game-tying three to force overtime.
Got to keep an eye on her. If she gives it up, you can't let her get it back.
Tibiasu, a big shot taker. Step back. And a foul called. Two coming at the line for Sarah Tibiasu.
She's smart. Drive to the basket, get to the free throw line. Easy opportunity. She's just so good with the handles. Collins standing straight up. She just got under her and got an opportunity to get to the free throw line.
A chance to make it a two-possession game. Tibiasu, 94% foul shooter. This is who you want at the line. And she drills it.
Try to get the ball to Barker, but just drive to the basket if you're Alabama. You'll get to the free throw line.
Barker has it here. Hunting a shot. Takes it in for two through contact. She's got 36. 2-point game with a minute to play in overtime. Tibiasu gonna wind this shot clock down.
Watch for the screen on the ball. If it's Kubek, watch for the pick and pop.
Shot clock down to 7. Tibiasu goes to work. Step back. No good. Alabama gets the stop.
Got to pick up the ball.
Barker finds Weathers. Carly Weathers into the paint. And a timeout taken by Christy Curry. With 27.5 seconds left to play in overtime. Alabama with the ball, trailing by 2. We'll be right back. Now, this has been the game of the tournament so far. Alabama trailing by 2 with the basketball. Sarah Ashley Barker has tied her career high 36 points. You know, all eyes on number 3 for this possession. And how about Maryland? They trailed by 17 late in the third quarter, roared back to force overtime, now clinging to a 2-point lead.
If you're Alabama, you got to go quick. You got to try to get 2 shots for 1. You see Coach Freeze trying to get the crowd going. Got to go quick. And then I think you had a foul. Try to get another shot.
The home crowd trying to roar Maryland to the finish line. Weathers the inbounder, looking for Barker, not open. Inbounds it to Collins.
Great switch there by Dulcie.
Weathers, the blow-by. Pulls it back out. Weathers with 10 seconds to shoot. Drives in, spins. Can't score. Offensive rebound. No good. And it's Maryland basketball with 8.4 seconds remaining. And the officials will go review this at the monitor. But the call on the court is Maryland ball.
Great out-of-bounds defense by Maryland. Great one-on-one defense by Dulcie on the ball handler. Ooh, I don't know. This is a better angle.
Out of bounds is under review.
It looked like it was off Alabama.
Christabel Azuma's hand was the last to touch it. At least it looked like it on that replay. What a comeback this has been for Maryland. From down 17 to force overtime, and now 8.4 seconds away from a 4th trip to the Sweet 16 in the last 5 years, and Brenda Freese's 12th trip to the second weekend since she took over this proud program.
And if you're Maryland, you've got to get the basketball in. That's the number one priority is get the ball in. They do have one timeout left if they need it. If you're Alabama, you want to say foul Maryland, but we just went through all the free throw shooting percentages, and there's not a bad free throw shooter on the floor.
Second best free throw shooting team in the country. Let's get the call.
Out of bounds stands Maryland ball on the end line.
So call stands Maryland ball. And Brenda Freeze uses a timeout to advance the ball here.
And that was smart because they would not have been able to run the baseline there in the out of bounds. So Poffenbarger being put in the game. You need a taller target to get the basketball to out of bounds.
Also a 90% free throw shooter.
Yeah.
Everybody on the court for Maryland.
Yep, they're going to have her take the ball out so she can see over the defense.
Everybody on the court for Maryland better than a 70% foul shooter. And everybody, for the exception of Kubek, is over 80%.
Well, I asked Coach Freeze one word to describe her team, and she said resilient, and this is a perfect example of that. They struggled there for a while, but they were able to get themselves together.
If Alabama doesn't get the steal, you have to foul immediately. 8.4 seconds remaining. Poffenbarger, the inbounder, have to get it in. And Brenda Freeze uses her final timeout. The safety net is gone. Alabama has forced 18 Maryland turnovers in this game. Can they find one more? Trying to turn the Terps over, trailing by 2. Maryland has been near automatic at the free throw line, not just today, 20 of 23, but on the season.
Well, you got to make sure if you're Maryland that if you have to throw it in, you're running out of time. You don't throw it to Alabama's end. You just throw it to your end, but you've got to get the basketball in. So do you screen or do you turn and you just post up your own person to get open? We'll see what Maryland does.
And the player you know the Terps are trying to get the ball to, Sarah Tibiasu, who forced overtime on a clutch game-tying three-pointer. She is 94% from the foul line this season.
If you're Alabama, you obviously have to foul right away.
Coming up next, the madness continues with West Virginia and North Carolina in Chapel Hill.
Alabama putting Azuma on the ball.
New inbounder, too. Now it's Cheyenne Sellers. Floating it into Poffenbarger. And she is fouled. So Saylor Poffenbarger heads to the free throw line to shoot 2. 90% free throw shooter on the season. Poffenbarger 1 of 2 from the line tonight, but 90% on the year. If she makes both, it's a 2-possession game.
Well, Christy Curry doesn't have any more timeouts, so you got to make sure.
Misses the first.
You got to make sure if you're Maryland that you match up with the shooters. Don't let them get to that three-point line.
Poffenbarger gets the second three-point game. Alabama can tie it with a 3. Maryland elects not to foul. Now as the buzzer sounds, and Sarah Ashley Barker will shoot 3 to send this game to a second overtime.
There's no more appropriate person for Alabama to be shooting 3 free throws than Sarah Ashley Barker.
They'll review the play to see if there's any time on the clock, and there might be just a tick or two. You know,
Boy,
up
that's
3.
a tough one. That's a tough
You know,
one.
as a former coach, it's the old conundrum. Do you foul before she shoots, or do you not? With 2 seconds to go, it looked like Maryland had backed off, but a late closeout will send Sarah Ashley Barker to the foul line to potentially tie this game and send us to a second overtime. Wow. Poffin Barker clearly got her.
Yeah, 0.3 or 0.2 when the hand went up for the foul.
The clock will be reset to 0.7.
0.7. Wow, that is a significant add-on here.
So if you're Brenda Freese right now, you're setting up your play in case she makes all 3.
With both teams out of timeouts. The weight of this game, the weight of the Alabama season on the shoulders of Sarah Ashley Barker. 4 for 8 from the free throw line tonight.
Boy, that's a look for a coach. There's nothing you can do.
Got the first.
That's the hardest one.
And it's a new career high, 37 points for Barker. 2 more to go. The Birmingham native trying to keep her team's season alive and get them to Birmingham in the Sweet 16. Got the second. What a clutch performance for Sarah Ashley Barker. 1 more free throw to tie this game. Got it! Maryland has 0.7. They don't even get a shot off, and we are headed to a second overtime in College Park.
Unbelievable. This is awesome.
The game of the tournament so far is not ready to end. And what a clutch performance that was by Sarah Ashley Barker. The weight of your team's season on the line. She steps up and drills all 3 of them to send us to a second overtime. And no matter which way this thing finishes, tonight's Capital One rewarding performance. Sarah Ashley Barker, a new career high, 39 points.
She has just taken over this game, especially when Zay Green went out. She had the ball in her hands most times. Shooting 3s, driving to the basket, doing whatever her team needed. What a time to get your career high.
Well, we've said it throughout the night, but Sarah Ashley Barker, first team SEC player, special player in the history of Alabama women's basketball. The Birmingham native, and if they win in this second overtime, she will send the Crimson Tide to Birmingham into their first Sweet 16 in 27 years. And she is battling without her partners in crime, Zay Green and Aaliyah Nye, fouled out of this game in regulation. They do not play in overtime, and yet Barker continuing to find a way.
Well, the ball definitely always has to be in her hands. Maryland's got a couple of options. Sellers has been playing well, and obviously TBS, who is not afraid to take the big shot. Alabama has 50 points in the paint. That is unbelievable.
5 more minutes on the clock. Second overtime. Here we go. This game living up to March Madness. a spot in the Sweet 16. DiBiase in control. Step back three.
That left spot right there, that's where she loves to shoot the big shots.
Sarah DiBiase, a big shot taker, a big shot maker. She had the game-tying three to send us to our first overtime. Now fires Maryland up by 3. S suits Cody, lost the handle, and it's Maryland ball.
DiBiase with the hand in her face, going left. She always creates that space there, and they're late. Cody not coming out in time. She only needs a little bit of space.
Sellers pull up hop, misfires. Battle for the ball. And it's going to stay with Maryland.
You got to have the ball in Sellers or DiBiase's hands right now. Those are the two scores for Maryland.
Those two have willed the Terps down the stretch as we tick under 4 minutes to play in this second overtime. Sellers so calm. The veteran, 3-time All Big Ten first-teamer, draws the foul. And she has been money at the line. 5 for 5 today. Second best free throw shooter in the history of Maryland basketball, only behind Christy Tolliver at 82.5%.
That's an important foul. I know we only have 3:51 to go, but that's the third foul on Sarah Barker.
Alabama already playing without 2 of their top 3 scorers, Zay Green and Aaliyah Nye, who fouled out in regulation. If they lose Barker, not much more Alabama can offer. Two-possession game as Maryland hits 100. Got them both. Alabama with their backs against the wall in this second overtime, trailing by 5.
Well, McLean's such an important job right now guarding Barker.
Trying to shake free. Barker dumps it off. Azuma, and an offensive foul called against Barker. That's her 4th. Ali Kubek, biggest charge of the night, biggest charge of her career. So for how close and competitive this game has been, 5 points feels like a fairly comfortable cushion.
It does.
Maryland with the basketball. Alabama going full court pressure.
Again, you get to try to get a foul. You're going to get to the free throw line here for the rest of the game. So take your time, get a good shot. If you don't have one, get to the basket. Try to get fouled.
Shot clock down to 10. DiBiase finds Sellers on the drive, goes up, can't finish it. Good defensive possession by Alabama. Shot clock violation. Ball back to the Crimson Tide. Their defense delivered when it mattered most there. All ball there from Essence Cody.
So let's see how aggressive Barker is, because she needs to be in this game. She does not want to get the 5th foul. Let's see if she's aggressive driving to the basket still.
Collins right to the rim, scoop to the hoop for 2. 1 possession game. DiBiase slowing things down. Maryland clinging to a 3-point advantage here in double overtime. Contact, no call there to clean up the spill. Mary McLean. Foul called. That suits Cody. Will go to the line to shoot 2.
Well, she's a good option, I think, here in the post, getting her to the free throw line, although she got fouled on the perimeter. If you're not going to go with Barker, then she's a good option inside on offense.
Got the first. And now Alabama has 100. It's back to a 1-possession lead for Maryland.
This is also a good time to get the ball to Kubek and let her operate against Cody on the perimeter.
Feels like it's been all TBiasu and Sellers down the stretch. TBiasu has it here.
Oh, they got
There's
it.
a three. Around to the three. Sarah TBiasu buries it, and Maryland's up by 6.
Oh my goodness.
Barker, a career high 39. Now she's got 41. Trying to keep Alabama in it.
Got to get over the screen. You cannot let that kid have any space.
TBiasu in attack mode again. Missed it. And Barker has it. Best way to get the ball, get the rebound. She's been suffocated in this second overtime. Picks up her dribble. Has to kick it out. Collins leaves it off. Azuma. And it's a 2-point game. 1 minute remaining in this second overtime. Maryland grasping a 2-point lead. 53 seconds away from the Sweet 16.
Got to be intentional here. I would trap the ball if I were Alabama.
It's been all TBiasu.
That's why you trap it, because she gets to the basket.
Delivers again. Maryland back up by 4. Barker with 30 seconds remaining. Goes right to the rack. She has been automatic, and that's a school record 43 points for Sarah Ashley Barker. She has done it all for Alabama. Timeout on the court, 2-point game. You do not want to miss this finish. We'll be right back. Well, in big-time games, you rely on your big-time players, and that's exactly what Alabama has done.
Well, Barker has shouldered the load since Nia Green and fouled out. She's done it from 3. She's driven to the basket. She made the 3 free throws to send it into the first overtime. But Maryland, boy, they've had Cyan Sellers, who just took over scoring, and then also TBiasu able to get to the basket, hit a couple of really big 3s. You talk about players making big plays. That's what you have to do if you want to get to the next level. If you want to get to Birmingham, Alabama, it's going to be who makes the most plays.
And for the Birmingham native, Barker, a school record 43 points. And we have some more history. This is the second most points scored in an NCAA tournament game in the history of the tournament. The only one higher back in 1995. It included Alabama, and it was a 4-overtime game against Drake. So Alabama uses their final timeout to set up their defense, Helen. 28 seconds remaining, so the shot clock is off. If you don't get a steal, you got to foul.
I believe so. You got to foul, but Maryland's a pretty good free throw shooting team, but you just never know. But you do have to go for the steal, and then you do have to foul. But at this point, if you're Alabama, you don't have to put anybody on the ball. You want to try to make sure that TBiasu does not get it and Sellers doesn't get it. Just try to double team. You don't need anybody on the inbounder.
So Alabama now without timeouts. Maryland has 1. 28 seconds remaining in this second overtime. Tibiasu, the best free throw shooter. Instead, they get it into Kubek. So Ali Kubek with 2 free throws coming. And Essex Cody has just fouled out of this game. So Alabama now without 3 starters. Zay Green, Aaliyah Nye, and now Essex Cody have all fouled out of this game.
It's a smart thing that Coach Brenda Fries did, putting Delsey all the way down the Alabama basket. She's a 56% free throw shooter.
Kubek misses the first, so the best she can do now is make it a 3-point lead for Maryland, and Alabama would have a chance to tie it on a 3. Got the second.
The key for Maryland is if you stop that first shot, don't let Alabama have an offensive rebound.
Here we go. 20 seconds left in the second overtime. Barker going for the quick 2. Got it. 45 points for Barker. Foul comes in quickly. Cheyenne Sellers back to the line for 2. Looking to restore a 3-point Maryland lead.
Boy, if the WNBA players are not looking at Barker, they better be after today. She has a will to do whatever her team needs to win the basketball game.
Sellers a perfect 7 for 7 at the line. Her father, Brad, watching on an NBA career with Michael Jordan, the Bulls of the late 80s. And now a stressful parent.
He'd rather be on the free throw line himself.
His daughter knocked them both down. A season high 28 points for Cheyenne Sellers. Biggest 2 points of the season there. Maryland up by 3.
Got to run them off the line. Don't let them take a 3-point shot.
Got to get the ball to Barker. Clock ticks under 10. Weathers. Back to Collins. A 3. No good. It's going to stay Alabama basketball. No timeouts. 1.8 seconds remaining.
They're going to review it. Oh, Maryland's so lucky here. Delsey went for the steal, and they had to recover. She had such a great look at it.
Who touched it last?
Well, the crowd certainly thinks that Alabama did.
Leah Brooks, who came into the game just for that possession, had not played in the entire game until now. You see her flying in there. Did it go off Brooks last? In which case it would stay Maryland ball.
Oh, it's just so hard to... Ooh, that looked like it was off Alabama.
Now the call on the floor.
Man, that's hard.
It's Alabama ball, so you need indisputable evidence
absolutely.
to overturn this call.
This is obviously a crucial call.
Well, the crowd certainly has their opinion here in College Park.
I got to give it to whoever is in charge of the music here at Xfinity Center. They've been jamming all week. So if you're in this huddle, you're given 2 scenarios because you don't know what the call is going to be. If it's going to be Alabama or Maryland, so you got to do both if you're the coach.
Alabama was in a very similar situation at the end of the first overtime, down 3 in the final seconds, and Barker was fouled, made all 3 clutch free throws to force this second overtime. And if Alabama stays on possession here, you know it's got to go to number 3, who has a new school record 45 points tonight. She has done it all for Alabama, but will she even get a chance to touch it, or will the officials give the ball to Maryland? And Barker, fourth most points scored in an NCAA tournament game in the history of the tournament.
The call on the floor stands. Alabama's ball on the baseline.
Alabama ball.
Okay, so you got to switch everything if you're Maryland here. And the key thing is the inbounder cannot move, so you got to set some good screens if you're Alabama.
Barker in the corner.
And I got Dulcie on her, who's 6'2", long arms, moves well laterally for her size. That's a good matchup.
Only 1.8 seconds to get a clean three off. Weathers the inbounder, finds Barker, trying to get up with it. Maryland survives! Heartbreak for Alabama and for Maryland, from down 17 to the Sweet 16. It took double overtime, but the Terps headed back to the second weekend for the fourth time in the last 5 seasons. What a game!
Man, in a game like this, you hate that somebody has to lose. This was fantastic.
The game of the tournament so far belongs to Maryland. You hate that one of those two teams had to lose, Helen.
Sarah Ashley Barker, tremendous player, tremendous performance. But again, Maryland, the word coach used was resilient, and we saw an example of that tonight.
I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Maryland moving on to the Sweet 16. For Helen Williams, I'm Jay Alter. Thanks to our terrific crew. Let's get you to Chapel Hill for North Carolina and West Virginia as the madness continues.